Leadership challenges are a challenge that's a high priority for companies around the world, clearly. It's simple, though, when you think about it. It's really about finding the right leaders, retaining and developing them, and advancing the ones that who are going to make a difference in your organization. And so, obviously, attracting them is a big part of American Express's focus in terms of our employment brand and how we hire. So attraction works. But we spend a lot of time focused on developing our leaders from within. In fact, I would say one of our brand value propositions is building strong leaders and sort of making leaders at American Express. So we do invest quite a bit in that. The challenges around the world vary depending on which region you're talking about. In some parts of the world, like Asia for example, finding and retaining the right talent tend to be the greatest challenge. Here in India, the war for talent is certainly a hot topic. And I would say finding and retaining here is maybe doubly as important because you absolutely need the right people in place to lead the growth opportunities that are here in market. Growth mindset, I think, is an opportunity to invest in growing leaders in the way that we need to for tomorrow's world. Yet the notion of what got us here won't get us there, right, is a focus, I think, for all companies. And when you think about the properties within growth mindset, you're looking for different behaviors from your leaders today to architect the strategy that will get us to tomorrow. So we need much more courage of your convictions, a willingness to take risks, developing followership in a way that people will come with you on what may be a very difficult journey ahead. And so cultivating that in our leadership bench strength, finding the people who excel naturally, moving them up. And what I love most about this idea of growth mindset is that anyone can adopt a growth mindset. It's not about whether or not you're born with it, or even if you've had the opportunity to demonstrate it in all of the other roles you've had before. But a willingness to invest in these behaviors, to try, to take risks, is really what growth mindset is about. Growth mindset can be developed. People who are stuck in a fixed mindset are exhibiting behaviors that are protective, that are safe, that can even be defensive. Not because they're necessarily bad leaders. In fact, they may have been good leaders at a point in their career, but they get stuck at one point or another, or they may be less courageous about taking a risk, which limits innovation. So as long as you are willing to exhibit those behaviors of growth mindset, to take a risk, to be courageous, to sort of put yourself out there. And I suppose the component I haven't said yet is this notion of learning agility and how the ability to apply what you've learned in the past to something new and unknown is a key factor in growth mindset. In fact, it's an enabler. So first, let me answer that question by saying I think there are at least two elements to being able to exhibit these growth mindset behaviors. One is personal and one is organizational. Right? It starts with a personal willingness. You've got to be comfortable and confident to take that risk and put yourself out there. And we talked about some of those factors. Organizationally, it's incumbent on companies like American Express to create a work environment where growth mindset is valued, growth mindset is nurtured. And that means setting up your processes and your procedures to allow for failure, for example, to allow people to learn from their mistakes and to go on to do something different. And you can pick examples in our company, certainly, and in many others, I'm sure, where product tests or product mistakes or failures led to the next generation of that product, which then created a much better outcome. But had you stopped at the failure point, you wouldn't have gotten to the innovation that then became the breakthrough. One of the ways that the teams are bringing their ideas forward, they're competing for funds in order to bring those ideas to life and to fruition. And through the Innovation Challenge, we see people come together from cross line of business, cross geography, cross function, in order to bring a new idea. And it gives a big company, an established company like American Express, a way for people to demonstrate that entrepreneurial spirit and to put themselves out there and to take risks. HR is an enabler to the business strategy and the business success. There are probably two key areas where we make the greatest difference as it pertains to growth mindset and the ability to innovate and move the business in the direction it needs, especially through transformation. The first is talent, and the second is leadership. On the talent front, I believe strongly that it is HR's partnership with the business that helps us understand the talent landscape the world over. We've got a very big focus in understanding the local market talent, understanding the global talent, global mobility of that talent, and who we are growing locally and who we are growing for cross-market moves. On the leadership side, it's HR's business to understand what those capabilities or competencies of the future are and build the constructs that help business leaders know what those valued behaviors are. So for example, at American Express, we are refreshing our leadership competencies. The ones we've had for the last decade are strong and work, and we're taking the best of what they are and adding now the elements we know we'll need to continue our growth journey, and in fact we're building in some of the very attributes of growth mindset we've been talking about.